Hi folks, this is Jason up UK. My website is jasonburnspreacher.com, jasonburnspreacher.com, jasonburnspreacher.com. There's loads of things that you can get on there that you can study and study about Christianity and other religions as well, and other topics. I want to just discuss this issue or talk about this issue of oral tradition. The Muslim apologist will tell you that the Koran text doesn't matter at the end of the day because the Quran is an oral tradition. We're hearing quite a lot of this from Muslim apologists at the moment. They're moving away from arguing for a text, which is absolutely absurd. It's just absolutely absurd that what they're doing. Well, I've noticed the Muslim apologists are moving away from arguing for text of the Quran, and the reason is scholarship is so strong now that they just can't hide the lies, and the lies are that the ancient manuscripts of the Quran that we have are not perfect. There are variants, there are mistakes, and they're just lying to the public about this. But that so much information is getting out and so much information is exposing them, they're now reverted to a tactic of arguing much more than they have done before about oral tradition. And the argument goes like this: if we can repeat the Quran in Arabic everywhere around the world, therefore, as we have done that, it shows that the Quran has not changed. And they undergird it with Western scholarship is dealing with Islam in a biased way. And you have to look at the culture of Arabia and to understand the Arabic culture, that it was oral tradition. So they tried to get out of the loop that they're in, the noose that they're in, and that is they have a text that they claim has not changed. And they are arguing from oral tradition. That what you see today when people repeat the Quran in different countries, that if it's the same repetitious words, therefore it's not changed. This is a fallacious argument, because the only way you're going to know whether your oral tradition is correct is your written tradition. You cannot go back 1,000 years and find a recording of any imams 1,000 years ago, like verbal recordings. So you cannot verify historically, orally, that things have not changed or not. The only way you can verify it is via the text. And this is the fallaciousness of this argument, because even in the old Islamic traditions, even in the hadiths, you find the story of Uthman. And Uthman made one recension of the Quran. And what was the reason? This is according to Islamic thinking. There was different pronunciations, so one text had to be made. So they argue that oral tradition is the confirmation that the Quran is correct and not changed, and yet oral tradition was not working even in the time of Uthman. So that's the first major pitfall and the most important pitfall to that argument. The second is, if the oral tradition is correct, the manuscript tradition would match the oral tradition, and it doesn't. The manuscript editions of the Quran throughout history are different. They are not the same. They are changed. There are variants, thousands of variants in a variety of manuscripts of the Quran. And then thirdly, sociologically, sociologically, there's no independent studies of this claim that people can repeat verbatim exactly the same all around the world, this Quran. So Uthman destroys their own oral tradition. The text destroy their own oral tradition, and their subjective argument implodes on itself when it comes to this argument of repeating. I asked a couple of Muslims in Hyde Park, give me an independent study. I asked a guy the other day in Manchester who's done an MA in Arabic studies and made this argument, and I asked him, give me an independent study of this particular topic, and he couldn't give me an independent study. It's purely a subjective argument. jasonburnspreacher.com. What do you think? God bless you.